Welcome to the Horror Friendly Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Horror Friendly Podcast. We are doing something a little different for the next, month or so. We have decided again to come back from last year and cover a handful of the films that are being premiered at FrightFest this year, the 2025 FrightFest. And this time I have Chantal joining me for the event. So we're really excited and I hope you enjoy the episode.
Okay, so for our next film, we are sticking with the virtual influencer style and we are covering Healing Andy. So this was written and directed by Villablanca. An influencer getaway to Italy turns into a nightmare for Andy and his friends. That's a very brief description.
It is. It is. It doesn't give anything away, does it?
It doesn't. So now I feel like this is to be really spoiler free.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's a slightly longer synopsis on Rotten Tomatoes if anyone wants to read that one. But I mean, it's, boys' trip to Italy funded by the influencer, which means there's a lot of cameras involved.
Exactly.
And obviously they meet a girl and then that causes problems.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, they
So
meet Ginger and things change for them. Let's just
yeah.
say that.
It was funny seeing the crew, the cast, and well, there may have been crew there as well, but like seeing Ginger at Fright Fest. And it was really funny because they hadn't gone up for their photos yet. So they were just hanging around. And I think you and I just come out of the bathroom, but I was like, why does that girl look so familiar?
Yeah,
And
and I
then
was
it
like, it's
literally,
Ginger.
and you're like, it's Ginger. I was like, fuck, it's Ginger.
It's her, it's her.
Like, for fun. But it was just because I don't think she was stood with the rest of them at the time. So I was like, who is that? Why does that girl
Yeah.
look so familiar to me? It's so funny. So yeah. What were your thoughts on this one?
So my thoughts on this one. Um, I really like the idea of this. I thought it was really interesting. I watched the trailer for this
Okay.
and it really made me want to cover it for Fright Fest.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just thought the idea of it was cool. I haven't really seen, obviously I've seen a lot of like, live footage and things of horror films, but I don't know, with this kind of vibe, it was just quite new to me. So yeah, I really liked it for the most part. I thought the cast were generally like it was well acted, I think for the most part. Um I think the sort of breakdown and the change of their friendships throughout the film was kind of interesting as well. Um, I thought it was quite a cool idea with like the idea of trying to heal their friend's broken heart by taking him away. But
Mm.
then you've also got this kind of influencer thing on the side. But I don't even necessarily think the influencer thing had to be there. I think that it could have just been a group of friends as well. But it also gave them an excuse to record everything. So I do get that. But yeah, I think I didn't come in with amazing expectations, but I was pleasantly surprised with it. I'll say that. What about you?
So to be fair, this is actually the only trailer that I watched because you sent it to me and went, how do you feel about this one? Um, because I watched it and I was like, oh my god, it's giving hangover vibes. Like it's hangover the horror version. Um, I quite liked the addition of the like live streaming Instagram, sorry, influence of it because what was really funny was he would be like, "Hi guys, everything's fine," and then like as soon as the phone went down, his other camera was then capturing the real him, and
Mm,
I actually loved the like switch between how every time he was live, he was trying to be like, "Oh, the best things coming later, yeah, yeah, yeah," and then he'd be like talking to his mate, he's like, "What fuck are we gonna do?" And it was
mm.
like I actually loved that. I thought it was so real how influencers are like
It's true.
it's the influencer voice and it's the everything's great and everything's perfect. Look at my amazing life. And
Mm,
like, sorry, but you're only posting what is good. Like,
mm.
I mean, you and I don't post when we're like, I couldn't get out of bed, but actually, it's the horror community. If we couldn't get out of bed and put a horror film on, people would cheer us on. So,
Definitely. But yeah, no, I do get that. I think like there is one bit on the hill where he's filming himself and but it's just the image of it where like the other two guys like they've argued like the other
yeah,
two guys are somewhere else and it's all gone tits up.
yeah,
But um but yeah, no, you're right. It does show the complete, false identity of an influencer who just wants to pretend everything's fine and everything's okay.
But
Yeah, interesting.
I did actually note though as well. I was like, every time it was live, they'd obviously added comments, and a lot of them did add. I put add some spice but it would be things like that where he'd be like, oh, and they'd be like, oh, where's Andy? Because like he wasn't in the video, or yeah, whatever, or he got caught lying. So they'd be like, hang on a second, and but it was also interesting how people started to turn
Mm.
on. So I can't remember an exact example, but like, yeah, then all of a sudden it'd be like, oh, yeah, there were comments and then like calling him out and being like, oh, you're cancelled, but then other people like, this is a prank. So I
Yeah,
think it was
this can't be
really,
real.
this can't be real. And I was like, this literally could have been taken off like half the films on the internet.
Mm.
Like, and again, I just think that was such a good attention to detail. I really liked it.
Mm.
But I also loved it, like the whole thing always in the corner was like camera one, camera two, like how long it had been. But I love as well that obviously they kept losing the cameras. So it'd be like camera three. And it was like, fucking hell. Like,
Guys.
like, guys, come on. Um, but I didn't, but at the same time, because it was filmed, there's the teaser text that comes up at the beginning. And at the end, I was like, it doesn't match with the rest of the film. So they'd obviously put something up like similar to YouTube to get you to watch it. And then at the end, you're like, hang on, that doesn't match.
So
Like,
yeah, so that's weird. So for me, I liked the ending. It was very eerie. It was up for a debate, like what what you had a lot of questions at the end,
yeah,
but kind of all the right ones. It was like it left you with the feeling you wanted.
yeah, but it didn't match the text right at the beginning. So I was like,
Yeah.
how? But again, I don't know if I was like, well, it's a YouTube base, so it's like to teach you. I don't know. Because I was like, but yeah. But
Yeah,
as you
'cause
say, but there were more questions. So maybe that was just be like, hang on, that doesn't match. So what's going on?
interesting. Yeah, I didn't pick up on that. Yeah. Hmm.
Um, I did put acting is great, but the characters aren't very likable, except Malcolm.
Yeah, Malcolm's cute. Yeah. No,
Malcolm is holding these guys together.
he
Like,
literally is. Yeah, he is. Yeah. No, they're not. They're not likable, and you kind of learn more about them throughout the film. You realize that they're flawed humans. Like, think a lot of stuff's happened between them, which I do quite like because I kind of like this combination where you do sort of get straight into it with this film, but at the same time, you are learning about them throughout their journey and like as they're kind of learning about themselves as
yeah.
well. So you're kind of finding out things with them,
Mm.
which is interesting. And yeah, I like the character development, but like you say, I don't think from the get-go, a lot of them are particularly likable.
There was one bit where it was like they learned something about one person in the group. And but the way they learned it, I was like, didn't make sense to me because I was like, that the thing that gave it away wouldn't be there. Like, why would that item have been there? So that for me was just like, well, that doesn't make sense.
Mm.
Which again, completely overthinking a film. Me, never. But I was just, that took me out of it for a second because I was like, well, you've had to put something in as a plot device, but that's
Yeah.
doesn't make sense to me that that would be the chosen item.
I know what you mean.
I'm glad you know what I mean because I'm trying to be very cryptic.
Yeah. No one else will, but I do.
People are either watching this being like that thing, or they're like, the fuck is she on? Like, what is she on about? Although I did also put feels a bit batshit and some scenes go on way too long,
Mm.
which is like I get because again, like if it's they're just filming and it hasn't been edited. But I was sat there like, oh, come on, get on with it.
I felt very much with the handheld camera thing, like we've got it with Paranormal Activity, we've got it with Blair Witch, where I think the scares are sort of continued throughout
Mm,
the film. Whereas with this, I do agree with you on that. Like there's a scene towards the end of the film where it's very dark
mm,
and it does go on just for that bit too long. Like I understand what the director was meant to do, sort of meant to build tension, and
mm.
I get it because for a certain amount of time it does do that, but it went on for that little bit too long, and it was like, okay, let's get something kind of going. And I felt like the reason that everything happened, it did all wrap up at the end. but I felt like it could have maybe gone slightly more into it. I felt like that ending was quite rushed. I would have liked to a bit
Yeah.
more of like substance in that whole reasoning and the story behind it.
Yeah, because they tried to add something, but then it wasn't really yeah, it just didn't feel necessary because you haven't put enough into it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
but
this is the thing, like it had a lot of strong things, and
yeah,
I appreciate what like the director and the writers were going for with this, and I think they did achieve it for the most part because you are left with some questions and you're left with, and throughout the film you don't really know what's going to happen. To me, none of it was particularly predictable, so it did feel like you were. I just almost felt like I needed a little bit more information
yeah,
personally. But yeah, as I say, I think like the acting was strong, and you could tell as well that they were all friends in real life as well. It felt very unlike some of the other films we've covered this year. I felt like the friendship was very, very genuine. Like you could even tell at the premiere, like they really got on.
yeah,
And like you could just tell that they were friends. It was like mates making a film. And
yeah,
that's what Fright Fest is about. It's
yeah.
about the love of filmmaking. So I really felt like that came through.
Yeah, I imagine this was a lot of fun to make. And again, they're just like
Yeah.
on holiday.
Yeah.
Um, and but I think there was one scene for me that didn't sit right. And I was like,
Mm.
if that was done to the other gender,
Yeah, we spoke about this, didn't we?
yeah, I was like, nobody would be okay with it. Because it was done to a man, the next scene it's almost played off as a joke.
Mm.
And that didn't sit right with me. Um, yeah.
Because I read a couple of reviews for this, um, and and some of them were saying like a lot of the comedy didn't land for me. I think some of it did. I thought some of the sort of dynamics with them was quite funny, even though, as we were saying, like the characters weren't the most likable. But yeah, with instances like that, and if you guys have seen it, I'm sure you'll know what we're referring to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that kind of thing, you're right. It would probably be very
Yeah.
different the other way around. So
Yeah.
that kind of thing is a bit tricky.
It was also,
Um,
they made a few comments at the beginning, which again, I was like, doesn't sit right. But I get they were trying to be like, yeah, it's lads, 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 like we're on holiday. And I was like, but if you were actually filming that for YouTube, you'd be cancelled. So I was like, I get, again, it's unedited, rah, rah, but so it kind of felt real because you're like, obviously, lads do make these comments.
yeah.
But some of it, I was like, it's just not necessary. What the fuck?
Mm,
Like, um, weirdly though, that stuff calmed down as it went
mm,
on because they had other problems. But it was just like, why? I
yeah.
don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing I will praise is the poster for this film. The poster is
Yes.
fucking great.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can put a picture of it here. I'll find out who the artist is. I have been trying to look for the last hour and I can't find it for some
Oh.
reason. But I will find out and I'll tell to put it in this video.
Tag them in.
Or I will tag them, yeah, and let you
Yeah.
guys know. But the poster, and this is my favorite poster of all the Fright Fest films this
It,
year.
it is a good one. I will give it that. It's
So
creepy.
good. Yeah, really creepy, really fun. And it was one of the things that made me want to watch it. So fucking good marketing as well.
Yeah.
So
No fair. Well, who would you recommend this to?
I
And
think
what are you
people
giving it? Spookies out of 5. Sorry, I jumped
no,
in.
don't be sorry. I was getting too excited. Um, so I would recommend this to anyone that likes kind of found footage horror. As I say, like I was kind of referencing like Blair Witch and Paranormal, like when it is darker, it is obviously a lot kind of scarier and eerie. And I think if you're into that and maybe a bit of British humor, then you'll like this. And yeah, I think I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't rush to watch it again, but I also wouldn't. It would definitely be something I would stick on
Mm.
at some point if anyone wanted to watch it, but it wouldn't be something I'd be like. It's not like Hold the Fort, for example, where I kind of would watch it like tonight kind of thing. So yeah, I think found footage people and a solid 3 out of 5 for me because I thought the acting was good and the general idea of the film was very strong. I just feel like there are certain areas that could have been executed a bit better. But yeah, what about you?
Um, yeah, I don't know who I'd recommend this to actually, to be fair. Like, I think as you said, like found footage,
Yeah,
it doesn't I don't think it crosses enough into another genre.
no.
Um, like, yeah, possibly a group of mates, but I think again you can probably enjoy this as much on your own as you can with your friends, pizza party style. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, probably definitely more found footage. Yeah, I think that's I'm leaning to like 2.5, 3, because again, I don't want to keep copying you, but I'm also still in that ballpark. Yeah, like you said, I think the acting was good. I think you can tell, they were having fun filming this. I think the characters aren't all likable. I like that they, as we said, Malcolm, I like that they had a good character. So you were like, he is keeping this on track. I like them showing that side of influencing. I like them showing, like when it just goes batshit. But I also think, again, I think some parts were unnecessary. Some parts was like, why? That could have been more definitely added in that. And I think, I don't know. It's not one I'd rush to watch again, but I will be watching it again down the line, I'm sure.
Yeah, same. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, we'll leave all the social information here so you can follow. Again, if you want to know the dates these films have come out, we will share them on our socials. However, follow the film. A lot of them have their own Instagram pages, or the directors and the actors will be sharing things. So if you're really desperate to see certain films, follow them directly. But enjoy.
Enjoy.
Enjoy. There's our influencer voice. Enjoy.
Yeah, it is. It's so fake.